at the explanations on FOIA and the importance of FOIA. These are the two things we are going to learn under this topic. Okay, and just as I've said, I've explained what a bee is and how a bee can turn into an art. Okay, so now the Freedom of Information Act was enacted or approved by the government of Dr. Ebele Jonathan in 2011. Okay, it was approved in 2011. Okay, and this bill, before it was approved, it witnessed several setbacks from the National Assembly down to the presidency. The president refused to sign the bill at the time, while at the time the National Assembly heard the bill. But after several concerted efforts, the bill was finally approved on May 28, 2011, under the regime of Dr. Ebele Goodluck Jonathan as the president of Nigeria. And you need to know certain historical background of this bill. That is the history of Freedom of Information bill. The race actually started sometimes in 1993 when the trial of the Media Rights Agenda, Civil Liberty Organization, and Nigerian Union of Journalists put forward agitation, as is being practiced in other parts of the world, to have a law that protects the press. Just imagine from 1993 to dates till 2011, can calculate the years, to tell you how African leader or Nigerian leader detests any act of transparency about their governance. But thank God, in the First Republic, the agitation was resuscitated. When I say First Republic, our First Republic started May 29, 1999. And with the resurgence of the agitation by the trial that I have mentioned, you can see in the PowerPoints, the race started again. Obasanjo, while he was in power, refused to append signature into the bill until it was finally stayed through the hurdle of executive recklessness on May 28, 2011. And as a month that is used to celebrate freedom of the press, that was the question I set on the group some times ago. As a month used to celebrate freedom of the press, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan used that as a gift to appreciate the activities of the press by signing the Freedom of Information Bill, and it became Freedom of Information Act from May 28, 2011. And that is why our topic today is Freedom of Information Act and not Freedom of Information Bill. Now, with the Freedom of Information Act, you can search for it online. The press, that is the different mass media, through their correspondents, can approach any government parastatal and seek information about the governance, about the activities of their parastatals. And such information can be made available for the public consumption. For instance now, it is one of the acts or one of the articles in the Freedom of Information Act for Punch to go into Alausa and ask Sanwo-Olu that, Your Excellency, sir, can you tell us your activity for the past 30 days as regard the fighting against coronavirus? How much have you been given? How much have you spent? Okay, someone should be ready to provide information to the Punch crew that approach him. Oh, you're welcome. This is what we have done for the past 30 days. This is what the Lagos State government get from philanthropists. And this is what we have spent. And this is what we expect to spend. And these are other mechanisms we have put in place to do this, to do that. But before the Freedom of Information Act, it may be difficult for the press to go and seek such information. But now, the press have the privilege to get the information about the activities in government. Just as I said in my previous class, for the fact that the press had the freedom to access information from the government and make it available for the citizen. Take note that any information that has to do with the security of the state or that can threaten the peaceful coexistence of the state is not meant to be published by the press in order not to cause disharmony and hanky-panky in the country. Don't forget, I said there's no liberty without limitation. There's no freedom without limitation. Fine, the press have been granted the freedom to gather information and make the information available to the public. But at the same time, it is not the duty of the press to carry any inflammatory news that can set the country ablaze. It is not part of the duty of the press to publish any information that can threaten the security of the country. Please take note of that. Just like as you have your freedom of expression does not entail you to carry any unfounded information about somebody. You will be sued under the law of libel or slander. Take note of that. Briefly, if you have seen this now, what do you think would be the importance of the press? What would be the importance of the Freedom of Information Act? Ogunesho. Ogunesho. It's not even with me. Precious Oriowo. What we use is the one of the importance of Freedom of Information Act. Precious. Okay. Where's Michael Taylor? Yes, Michael Taylor. Michael Taylor.
So it allows the press. It allows easy access of.
Can you recap? You mute yourself again. I'll mute. Why now? I'll mute you. You mute yourself. Yes. Michael Taylor, I'm with you.
It allows the press easily.
Okay. Salami David. Salami David. Olamiposi. Importance of Freedom of Information
Prevent
Act.
arbitrary rule.
It prevents arbitrary rule because, as a matter of fact, the press now have freedom or the privilege to get information from the government. And if you don't want to give the information, the same press will still tell you that we went to Alausa yesterday. The governor was not ready to attend to us. If you are not ready to attend to the press, it means you have something hidden. And in as much that you know that your art will make public, either directly or indirectly, you will be conscious of whatever you want to engage in order to prevent any form of abuse of power or office. Please, let me see who is here again. Temidire.
It
Are you with me, Temidire?
It enables good governance.
It enables good governance. Can you explain that?
Okay, like when people know that whatever they do can be published, they will not behave badly.
Thank you. In as much that our government are aware that the activities will be made known, they will be conscious of whatever they are doing. They want to carry out their duty in line with the wills of the people. Okay? When the government is responsible and responsive, that is good governance. Okay? Ayani Melody. Ayani Melody.
Sir.
Yes, tell me one importance of the Freedom of Information Act.
It allows
Don't talk like roadside conductor here. It allows Aisha Balogun.
Sir.
Tell me one importance of Freedom of Information Act.
It promotes transparency in the government.
It promotes transparency in government. Can you please explain?
Like, I don't know how to put it. Like,
Aisha, be careful. You will be my lawyer tomorrow. As a lawyer, you must be vibrant. You must have independent brain. The Freedom of Information Act promotes what we call transparency in government. How? The press can get information about the activities of government and also make it available for the people. Okay? Is that not transparent? It makes the activities of government to be what? Transparent. But if there is no Freedom of Information Act, whereby the press can actually go into any public office and get information and make it available, how will the people know what is happening in government? So the fact that the press now have freedom to get information about the activities of government ensure transparency, it makes people to know what is happening in the government. Okay? Where is our Lord Divine? Divine.
Yeah.
Tell me one importance of Freedom of Information Act.
Okay. It allows the press to have access to information in government without intimidation.
Thank you very much. That does not have hidden meaning. Okay? That does not have a hidden meaning. As a matter of fact, the Freedom of Information Act gives freedom, liberty, access to the press to get information from the government without any form of intimidation, coercion. So there is that about where is Onola Adeshina? Adeshina. Tell me one importance of Freedom of Information Act.
It protects the right of the press free
Can you explain what you have said?
Like it protects the press. Like when they take some information, nobody can act against what they say. Like
Okay.
this stuff like that.
Okay. Now that you have a law, for instance, now, if you have a law that Mr. Manen should not flog you, and I flog you, you know, you have backup rights. So the same thing applied to the Freedom of Information Act. The Freedom of Information grants the press to gather information and make it available, in as much as such information is not inimical to the progress of the country. So if the press get information and you want to intimidate them, they will use the Freedom of Information Act as a yardstick to prosecute their case at the law court. So that is how it protects the rights of the press in gathering information and make us available to the citizens. So far, so good. You have all spoken very well. Michael Taylor, I just received your hand. So these are some of the points you have raised. These are some of the points you have raised. So far, so good. We have dissected. We have done everything as regards the press. I've done everything as regards the press. And please, let me lay emphasis on this to some of you that don't know how to answer questions. When I ask you to highlight, please state your point and explain it. When I ask you to outline, state your point and explain it. Please, don't just list the points for me. You will not get your adequate mark. I am training you for external exam. I'm not just training you for the school exam alone. If I pamper you here, when you get to SS3, you want to write your external exam, you will have challenge. Please, appeal to all of you. Make sure you do the needful. So, thank you very much. Stay home and stay safe. Make sure you maintain your personal hygiene. Now, let me take a question from you. It is time for question. If you have a question, raise your hand. Okay, Josiah, I have a question. Josiah, what is your question?
So I don't have a question.
I am but raise your
I
hand.
wanted to answer the question.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, Divine, you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what's your question?
You said the Freedom of Information
Act.
Like it was the initiative of Media Rights Agenda, Civil Liberties Organization, and Nigerian Union of Journalists.
Yes.
But if it was like made by them, like how does it get to the legislature? How does it get to the parliament?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, this question will take me to types of a bill. Okay? There are 3 types of a bill. We have what we call money bill. That money bill has to do with yearly budgets of a country, presented by the head of executive. We have what we call public bill. Public bill will be presented by the executive or sponsored by any Nigerian through their representative in the parliament. Okay? Then we have private member bill. Private member bill is a bill raised by a member of the parliament. Okay? When a bill is sponsored by a member of the parliament, like the one sponsored by Femi Gbajabiamila now and one legislator as regard the NCDC right to about this health bill or whatever, that is a private member bill. Okay? But when it comes outside the parliament, we call it public bill. And it could be from you or I. And when I have such a bill, all I need to do is to liaise with my representative in the parliament that this is what we have and this is what we want you to do. So my representative in the parliament will push such. And don't also forget that we have some members of this media right agenda, civil liberties organization, and Nigerian Union of Journalists in the parliament. Okay? Take for instance now, Sam Adeyemi, what is his name? The one represent Kogi Central, was a former president of NUJ. Now, if NUJ should have anything they want to make it a public or they want it to be now, it's a way to what? To approach Adeyemi as a member of the fourth estate of the realm. So sponsor the bill on their behalf. Then the question is that when it comes for debates, they will invite the individual or groups that actually initiated the bill to come to the plenary. When I say plenary, to the parliament, to come and defend the bill. Okay, that is how it is done.
Yes.
You can raise a bill. It's not necessary that you must be a member of parliament before you raise a bill. I've answered your question.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yes,
welcome.
sir. Thank
You're welcome. Yeah, which other question here? There's no other question? Okay. Taylor, do you have a question again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's your
Sir,
question?
Sir, yes. Are there no rules guiding how the press can approach any individual of the government? Like, they cannot just suddenly go to the governor's office and then ask for information. Are there no procedures that they have to follow?
Thank you very much. The Freedom of Information Act explicitly dictates everything. I charge you to download this. You will get it online. There are rules for your information. All the media outfits, they have their accredited representative attached to all these government parastatals or agencies. For instance, now in Alausa, they know the punch correspondent in Alausa. So anybody cannot just go now that I am the punch correspondent here. The one that's attached to that place is known to everybody. It's been accredited, and the one that's attached to the Asu Rock is known. Channel correspondent that is attached to Asu Rock, it is known. Channel correspondent that is attached to Alausa is known to them. It's been accredited. There's what we call accreditation. Okay, all those press crew or press all these mass media, the correspondent attached to different areas, they have been accredited. So anyhow, person cannot just come. So whenever there's any information, anything, they have access, okay, through maybe the chief of staff to the governor or to the president. Okay, we want to get this, or whenever there's a press conference, they will be there. They don't need to intimidate them. Take note, whenever the president was supposed to address the nation, as somebody is addressing the state now, you will see channel television, you see AIT. Those are the accredited correspondents to that arena. There are procedures. You must be accredited by the different, because anybody cannot just come that I'm from social area. You may be a higher assassin, nobody will attend to you. Okay, you must have been accredited in the different area where they're supposed to get the information. Are you still here, Taylor? Okay. Brian, what is your question?
Sir,
I'm with you, Brian.
so why is it that in countries like Mexico, that when journalists are trying to report the truth, they always find a way to silence them?
A country like
Mexico.
okay, I think that is where you want to nationalize yourself.
No, sir.
Okay. You have not even talked about your country here. Your country, is there anything called even freedom of the press? It happens virtually in the world. All part of the world, just that is common in Africa, not only in Mexico. The truth is that not everybody, those people that are doing what is bad, they don't want their action to be made known to the public. It is when you are doing what is wrong that you want to cover up. You don't want people to know what you are doing. Those that are doing what is good, they want public to know whatever that is going on. So that is the question only in Mexico. It happened virtually. Take the history of the violation of human rights and infringement of freedom of the press in the world. You find that there are countries, especially in the Middle East, where the right of the press are being limited, and the the government gauge the kind of news the press will publish. And if you publish anything that exposes the ill in the government, you'll be arrested. Okay? It's only in Mexico. The result of the bad governance in the state and the refusal of the leaders to take corrections. Okay? I've answered your question. Brian.
Yeah.
I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to, I think only have a question left. I'm going to take that from, where is he? I thought Motosho was raising his hand. Okay. Okay, maybe the question is the same with what Brian asked. Divine, are you raising your hand again? Divine, are you raising your hand again? Brian, when I've answered your question, you lower the hand. Okay, there's a place you lower the hand there. Okay, Tilo, I've answered your question. Don't know, I was trying to get information from you. Don't know where you went. Tilo.
Yes, sir.
I've answered your
So
question.
my question. Yes, I have another question, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Ask. I'm listening. I have 2 minutes left.
are there not some kind of information that the press are not allowed to get, like maybe some classified information?
I have told you, if you listen very well in my class, if it has to do with security, for instance now, maybe Tuko Buratai, the chief of army staff, is strategizing on how to strike Boko Haram. Then maybe a channel interviewed Tuko Buratai. What are your strategies on how to defeat Boko Haram? Tuko Buratai may not tell channel on the strategy put in place to destroy Boko Haram, because if Tuko Buratai will take a channel will publish that, okay, the Nigerian army has strategized now to use this and that to attack the Boko Haram. And the Boko Haram too have their agents in the society. They'll be informed and they'll plan against the strategy. So such information is not meant for the press. If the tactics have been used already and it was effective, then such can be made available to the press. So the channel can ask that, oh, Lieutenant Tuko Buratai, what were the strategy you put in place to defeat Boko Haram? Then Tuko Buratai can now say, this is what we have done. This is what we put in place like this to defeat the Boko Haram. But it's not ideal to tell the public or the press the strategy that have been put in place to attack Boko Haram, because once it becomes a public knowledge, the tactics will be defeated. Is that understood? Taylor, I think that is all for you. You raised your hand, Omotosh. I was asking you for you to ask your question. You were nowhere to be found.
Sorry, sir. I forgot my question. I've not remembered it.
Okay, thank you.
I've remembered it. No, I've not remembered it.
Ask your question in the next 30 seconds.
Excuse me, sir. Is it possible for the press to give fake news about something?
How many times will you ask this question? How many times will you ask this question? When you know the one or someone else asked this question the other time that can press publish rumor, what did I say? Who will answer that question here? Who will answer the question? Somebody asked the question the other time that can the press publish a rumor and answer the question. Who will answer the question here? Raise your hand. Okay, Fimba Jessica, thank you. Jessica.
You said that they cannot publish rumor because evidence for it.
Thank you. So, Omotosho, you don't publish what is not real, okay? You publish what is real. Will you come to me now? You publish information about me, about what I have not told you? I will sue you. And I will demand damage I can ask you to publish in the next 3 months a rejoinder of what useless information you have published. That this is what you have published about me and it is not real. And I also demand money from you. I can tell you that you have spoiled my business. I need because the name you have destroyed, people do not patronize me again. So that the court should tell you to pay me like a 10 billion naira for damage and publish in the front page of 10 newspaper for 3 months that what you said about me is not real. So you don't publish fake news, you don't publish rumor. It is the press itself. I said the other time, the press has code of conduct. Okay, the press has code of conduct that govern them. They don't publish anyhow news. If you publish anyhow news and you are found to have done contrary to the professional ethics of the press, you will be sanctioned within the Nigerian Union of Journalists and the rule that govern them. I think I have answered your question. Don't ask me this kind of question again.
Yes, sir.
As I previously, you asked me again. Thank you. Timileyin. Okay. You don't say anything throughout this class. Who else again here that not see anything throughout in this class? Balogun says I call her. Olajumoke, you don't say anything in this class. Olajumoke.